So making note of how well Tui Pelotu and Jordan Addison played in their NFL preseason debuts. I think Gixer, here's the bigger issue that you bring up, any ripple from this. This is the thing. This is the heart of the story for USC football. If you win, if you dominate, if you excel, it's been a tough past 5 weeks for USC on the recruiting trail. Like through the 4th of July weekend, the program was going great guns. Then you had the Dakota Fields decommitment. You lost out on KVA to Notre Dame, taking a number of hits. And so people are understandably a little unsettled, like it was not supposed to be going this way. Like the trajectory of recruiting was, just going up, 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 up through June and through the 4th of July weekend. Like what people are wondering, what the heck happened the past 5 weeks? And it's understandable for people to be a little bit unsettled. But here's the point, and I'm relating what Gixer is asking to this larger question. If the NFL guys dominate, like Jordan Addison, he has a great situation, I think, in Minnesota. I think he's set up for success. Tui Pelotu being able to stay in Los Angeles after his collegiate career, now with the Chargers. He seems to be in a good position. He can learn from, Bosa as a teammate along that front seven for the Chargers. If guys excel in the NFL and if the Trojans win a whole bunch of ball games, they win 11, 12 games this season, they win the Pac-12 championship, they make the college football playoff. If they do that, the recruiting's going to take care of itself, right? Like if USC goes 12-1, like does anyone think that the next that the remainder of the 2024 recruiting cycle on into January and February is going to be a bust? And does anyone think that Lincoln Riley is not going to get every, really prime offensive prospect he needs in the transfer portal? And does anyone think that the 2025 cycle is not going to hit the mark if USC goes 12-1 this season? Like, of course, the program is going to rock and roll. Of course, the program is going to go to another level. So, that's part of why, being at this place in mid-August, I'm enjoying it because, like, when I say we don't need to worry about recruiting, I'm not saying it's not relevant. I'm not saying it's not important. What I mean is now we get to the season and now we get to USC's ultimate proving ground. And if USC proves itself, on these game days and, not just, in college, but also with Addison and Dooley in the NFL, if you succeed on game day, when it really matters, when everyone's watching, the recruiting, the transfer portal, all these other things, they're going to fall into place. It's going to take care of itself. Winning it cures everything, as has been said many times in human history. So, people worried about the recruiting, worried about the brand, worried about the identity, it's all going to take care of itself. Let's keep in mind that Caleb Williams is, going to be the number 1 pick, assuming that he doesn't get hurt. And USC is going to have a much deeper NFL draft this year, like really beginning to leave the Clay Helton reign of error in the rearview mirror. You're going to have a lot more second and third round picks, a lot more day 2 selections, which is really where the program fell off a cliff under Helton. Pete Carroll was able to stuff a lot of picks in the top 100 during his tenure at USC. You're going to get a lot more of that in 2024. So the winning, the success, that's the ultimate sales pitch for recruiting. Like, it's not a coincidence that Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama are all elite recruiters. Like, they're always making the college football playoff, or at least they're right in the mix. USC just needs to establish that same track record, and assuming that it does, it's going to be right there at that same level. So what's happened the last 5 weeks with USC recruiting, not the way we all planned, not the way we wanted it to be. But if the Trojans go 12-1 this season and are lifting a Pac-12 championship trophy and are heading into the college football playoff, like, does anyone think the recruiting's not going to rise to that top 3, top 4 level? And, we have to see what Florida State does. Like, Florida State's rocketed into the top 5. So, like, you got to give it up to Mike Norvell to be able to, land this many quality prospects without yet attaining that ultimate proof of concept. I mean, last year's team was good, but like USC was better than Florida State pretty clearly last season, got to a BCS or New Year's Six Bowl. Florida State did not do that. USC really was more advanced than Florida State was last year, and yet Florida State is, recruiting better than USC right now. All right, tip the cap to Mike Norvell. But if Florida State loses to Clemson by a couple touchdowns, doesn't win the ACC, doesn't make a New Year's Six Bowl, which program is set up to have the higher trajectory and has the better long-term future? It's going to be USC. But if USC stumbles and Florida State goes 12-1, well, then the Seminoles are going to keep getting top 5 classes under Norvell. So really, there's just something pure about all of this. I think that's really what I'm trying to say on a larger level, is that now here we are at the season, and the winning is going to be the ultimate sales pitch in recruiting. You also pull in the NFL, Gixxer Squid, and that's really the ultimate message that USC fans should be internalizing right now.